last year, they were the number one scoring defense in the ACC. The number one scoring defense, and they still got talked bad about, and they're still mad about it. So they're going to come out ready for Georgia.
But here's the problem. I mean, you guys are supposed to have that in ACC. Ain't nothing but elementary school team JV and
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association.
All right, guys, welcome to the YMA Nation podcast. It is Sports Talk Friday. You guys see, I got all of my gear on today. Yes.
I'll give him a round of applause.
Yes, today's going to be an exciting show.
He got the whole thing.
Yes, today is going to be an exciting show. So if you're on right now, go ahead and make sure you like, comment, and
subscribe.
I am Joe Wallace, and this is
Rebecca Wallace.
Make sure down in the comment section you hashtag YMA Nation so you could be in our monthly cash drawing to win some ching ching. Some ching ching.
Yeah.
Some ching ching. Ching ching. We got a special guest on today.
We do.
We had Marcus on a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
On Wealth Builder Monday. But today, because he is the biggest. You gotta do all the drum rolls. The biggest Alabama football fan that I know. We have him on today for Sports Talk Friday to talk about these games tomorrow.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
Say it again.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we're excited to have you on because Miami is playing against Alabama, and we've been talking about it for weeks. So today is Miami versus Alabama. It's the hip hop versus. Today is going to be the sports versus.
Already.
I'm just here to mitigate and, referee this thing.
Are you ready, Marcus?
I've been ready. And you know what? I see you got your hat, your shirt, your cup, and your towel behind you. I just want you to know I got this hat. I got 6 elephants behind me. I got a national championship hat right here, one of 18. I mean, I done lost count. I think.
You gotta give them a round of applause for that.
We got to talk about
what they say. Well, it's hard to lose to underdog. We hate to see his face tomorrow afternoon when the game is coming to a close.
We ready for the smoke, man. And you know what? Before we get started, Joe, listen. Any and everybody, football is back. Football is back. Can I get some cheer for that? Football is back. Listen, for all the men, listen, I'm a liaison for you, right? So for any man who's married, wives, listen. I apologize on behalf of the men for these next 17 to 22, 23 weeks. If we didn't hear you, say, hey, I needed almond milk instead of 2%. We were thinking about the game. If we didn't hear you say, hey, the sink needed to be fixed, we were thinking about football. All right. If you said we needed to cut the grass, we was thinking about football. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing right now before kickoff.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, Marcus, but let me tell you. So we have a special segment at the end of today's show called Football 101 for the women. So we are teaching the wives about football, so they are going to be able to be engaged.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I don't know, Marcus. Are you prepared to have your wife sitting next to you with a Miami Hurricane t-shirt on?
That'll never happen.
Oh, never happen.
I don't know. She might. I don't know who is her favorite team.
Alabama.
Oh, he brainwashed her.
Alabama.
She tried to brainwash me. I said I like Clemson, but I can't convert. I'm a Miami Hurricane fan for life, born and raised.
You didn't watch college football.
Let's get into this. So tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern Time PM, Miami versus Alabama. So I'm going
3:30.
Is it 3:30?
It's 3:30.
Why does this information say 2:30?
Look,
and this is on WinBet.
It's probably
WinBet. ABC will broadcast the kickoff thing, the kickoff show at
it's
2:30 p.m.
3:30.
It's at 3:30. You
Yeah.
know she's going to know. So the kickoff show
I have
starts
all
at
the
2:30.
times and the games and all that.
Calling the game for ABC will be Sean McDonald and Todd Blackledge. On the sideline assistants will be Todd McShay and Molly McGrath.
Okay.
And they'll be talking about how Miami is kicking Alabama butt.
Oh, wait.
Okay, let's start this off. First off, I am a realist. So, again, I love Alabama. If you have watched this show, and I was not talking about Miami, I was talking about Alabama, because I respect the team. I respect the program that Nick Saban has created. I respect their undefeated seasons back to back. So I got nothing but love and respect for the team. So I just wanted to get that out the way. And I will tell you, based on the history of Miami versus Alabama, which they haven't played since the 1993 Sugar Bowl, which they kicked Miami butt, and since the history of college football, out of the 17 games that they have played, Alabama has won 14. That's amazing. To lose to a team 14 times out of 17. But what I will say is that out of all 17 games, what they did not have was De'Aaron King. What the Miami Hurricanes did not have was one of the deadliest quarterbacks in the NCAA college football right now.
You hear that? I hear crickets. He ain't proved himself yet. You know what?
Proven himself yet.
Listen. I just like you, I don't move by emotion. I'm a realist as well.
Right.
And you know what? 1993, I was at the tender age of 9 years old, and I'm sitting on the couch with my brother, and I just happened to see Lamar Thomas, one of the fastest men, supposedly, in the NCAA, catch a ball, starting from the 10-yard line, his own 10-yard line. And right before he gets to the opposing team's 10-yard line, George Teague, what number was he? What number was he, Joe? Because I'm sure you watched that game.
No, I think you might be older than I am. Or I wasn't into football at that.
I'll throw two numbers in.
Age.
Give you a guess, right?
Strips
the ball from Lamar Thomas.
Okay.
And I'm saying to myself, he can do that? You know, I'm happy that it happened. But I'm like, wait a minute, can he really do that? And I know that was heartbreaking. But listen, just like you, I'm a realist when it comes to the history of teams. And I do have a lot of respect for the Miami Hurricanes. I have a couple of favorite players of mine who came from there, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. And a lot of people who don't watch football, they also need to know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he was a Hurricane. You know, and
right. A lot of people didn't know that.
They did not. They did not know that. And something else that they did not know, that the 2002 draft, you guys had 36 guys go in the draft. 36. 17 in the first round. That's phenomenal.
That's phenomenal.
You can't do nothing but respect that, man. You cannot do nothing but respect that.
So, what's your prediction for the game?
For the game,
Yes.
I'll make this quick here. With Alabama having a freshman quarterback and our wide receivers being freshmen, all except for Michi, Alabama's going to struggle in the first half. And then the second half, they're going to turn it up. They're going to get all those nerves out. I've seen it happen too many times. The defense will do what they need to do because they have a lot of returning players. You know, we didn't lose much to the draft. We have a few freshmen who are going to be starting, but you know what? The bulk of that defense, they've been there. So they're going to keep us in it, but that second half is when we're going to turn it on. So I think it's going to be a close game up until halftime. And then y'all going to lose 41-17.
Y'all going to lose. Bob, say the score again.
41-17.
41-17. That's what the college football network got the same prediction of 41-17.
I don't think the score is going to be. I don't think the margin's going to be that big.
I don't think so either.
And I'm not saying that Alabama's going to lose. I think that the game is going to be tighter because I think that Miami is going to come out with something to prove. I think that the one thing about Nick Saban in Alabama, he understands what a rebuilding year really is. So, you know, there's already a lot of commentators and things saying that, hey, Alabama may not make it to the college football playoff this year because they did turn so many of their huge offensive playmakers that they had over to the NFL draft.
Right.
So this is a rebuilding year on offense for Alabama. And I think it really is going to boil down to how powerful Miami's offense really is going to be and how powerful Miami's defense comes out against a young offense to stop them. Like, they have to prove that they can stop them. I think that's going to dictate a lot of the game. And they're going to have to protect the ball. Miami has to protect the ball. So De'Aaron King coming back from an injury, I've said this on the show too. I think that he cannot get inside of his head. You see a lot of players that come back from injuries. They're in their head. They don't want to get hit. They're afraid of getting hurt again. And that sometimes messes with their mental. So he has to protect the ball, and he can't be in his own head. He has to make smart plays.
Well, 247sports.com, they said from his practices that they see him being a dual threat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just in practice. So obviously, like in practice, like he's not the concern of have to be super careful about, not the hurricane.
Nah.
He but I have to be super careful of not being able to get hurt again. Right? He's out there playing. He's hustling. Like his desire and passion to win is there.
I think it's going to be close.
I
would say
it's
going to be more of like a 21-27, 24-27 type game because I think the Alabama offense is still going to be trying to find themselves with the new players that they have. I think that the Alabama defense is they always come out, they hit hard, and so they're going to cause issues for Miami offense, but I do think that Miami will be able to score some. So I think it's going to be more of like a 21-27 type game.
I think so too. I think it's going to be close.
What's weird here, 2019 when we had the high-power offense with Tua, you know, we had Devontae Smith, Waddle, Ruggs. We had the whole Glockenspiel. We had everything. The defense was the problem. They were, you know, the freshmen. They were the Achilles heel. That's where we played in the bowl game. And now it's like the roles have flipped. So now those guys who are actually playing in that game with them being, you know, sophomores and juniors, and they've established themselves, they are going to have to step up and really carry this because I know that with the offense, them having freshmen, those nerves and butterflies it's gonna be there. You know, you could be in high school and you play there's a certain amount of people that you used to play in front of, but once you're in college, that collegiate level in NFL, you know, those nerves, you got to get used to that. You got to play through it. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some guys out there who are just going to be shook, and yes, we're just going to see what's going to happen. But you know, I have confidence in what our boys are bringing to the table, and it may be close. It may be close. I'm still going to give us at least a 14-point spread. I'm giving us 14. And De'Aaron King, yes, he is a phenomenal player, and for him to have that ACL injury, you know, coming back from that's I've seen other players, you know, have to work through that and what they do as far as rehab and conditioning and coming off of that. And you know, I know that he's going to be thinking about that injury himself and making sure that he puts himself in a position to help his team succeed and not tear that ACL again. But yeah, he's definitely a dual threat. And you know, I wish him the best. Want to see him do well.
Right, yeah. I think both teams are going to perform exceptionally well on both sides of the field. And then Alabama has so much to prove too. Like as the team, imagine coming out and having such a wide predicted projection of this team is saying, I mean not team, but this platform saying that you're going to win 41-17. This platform saying you're going to win 48 to 10.
I think that's the difference too. Like when you have that type of pressure, and you know, to the point of having freshmen in those key positions. I mean, if you have a true freshman quarterback, you have, you know, your wide receivers, true freshman, there's gonna be first time game errors. I mean, you can't, it's not avoidable, especially like going from the different platforms. Like he was saying, from high school to college, you go from one level to another level, and they try to prepare you the best you can. But until you get into that game time mode, I mean, a lot of it is just going to be nerves.
Well, they're saying that Miami is going to have one of the most tenured teams for 2021. They got 19 starters coming back. So having that experience, I think that they're going to be a problem for Alabama, bringing that type of experience. When you look at Alabama and see like what they have lost from last year, I mean, they lost a lot of key players from Najee Harris. I mean, he was explosive on the field.
That's why a lot of people say they're not going to make the playoff this year, because they are truly rebuilding.
Yeah.
They're truly rebuilding this year.
You talk about a whole offense, right? A
right.
whole offense from your quarterback to your star wide receivers to your backfield. I mean, you're talking about like.
But we all know Alabama will come right back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're going to have to rebuild.
Yeah, but we're here talking about the game tomorrow when Alabama must face the Miami Hurricanes.
They must face them.
They must face the Miami Hurricanes and a team that's bringing back 19 starters along with a deadly quarterback.
But
what say you?
With our running back, you know, we crank them out. You know, we running back but we still got Brian Robinson and Jace McClellan. Now Brian Robinson, this is his fourth year. This is his last year. And I haven't really been sold on him. You know, I really have to see more from him. But Jace McClellan, he was the guy that we stole from Texas. This is his second season, so he may be able to pick up some slack back there. And we also have our tight end Billingsley and also John Mechie over here to help. But these freshman wide receivers that we do have they're no slouches. We got a Jai Hall, 4-star recruit, 6'4". I'm sorry, 6'5", 175 pounds. You know, and he's been showing out in these A and B games. He's been doing his thing, but I'm just excited to see what these guys are going to bring to the table. I know for that first quarter and a half, they may make me upset, but you know what? You can't be great if you don't make mistakes. I don't care what profession you're in. You have to make those mistakes. You have to learn from them.
Absolutely.
And what's crazy is there's so many like of these games that are kind of going to set the tone for the season the first week.
Right.
The first week, you have so many games that are just going to set the tone across the board.
Your team plays tomorrow.
My team plays tomorrow.
Clemson versus Georgia plays tomorrow.
Yeah, prime time. 8 o'clock.
What say you?
Okay.
She had to breathe deep on that one.
Let me turn my head around for this one.
I didn't have anyone to versus me, so I'm just versus myself, I guess.
Well, provide your feedback on your team.
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did she say?
She said, "It's just a credit score, relax."
Are you checking your credit score?
Huh? Hold on.
So this is the things that Clemson needs to do to win, and then I have some side notes.
Okay.
And then I have my prediction already.
Okay.
Okay, they have to establish the run. We lost ETN. We lost Lawrence. I'm not worried about the quarterback. I'll get to him in a minute. But we're going to have to establish the run and do it early. And they've already said it's kind of going to be a run by committee because we do have a lot of running backs. Right now, they're saying Lynn J. Dixon, which does have the experience, Darian Rencher, and then freshman Will Shipley is showing a lot of promise in the fall camp. So we'll see if they try to establish the run. I think they're going to have to do that early against Georgia and test the defense.
Let me jump in real quick and say, I would say Georgia team is unpredictable. So it seems like every season they have a good lineup of players, but it seems like the coaching and just having them go out there and execute, it seems like the failure point for Georgia.
Yes. With
for the most part,
Kirby Smart being a defensive-minded coach, and with Clemson needing to establish the run, I can see him actually working towards stopping the run. You know, with also Clemson having a rookie QB, a freshman QB, he's going to have to establish himself as well. Well, he's not a freshman. I'm sorry. He's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to establish himself more. But I see Kirby Smart trying to do the same thing that they did to us when we had Jalen Hurts in that national championship game against Georgia and isolated the run because they knew he was more of a running quarterback as opposed to being a passing quarterback until Jalen was pulled out at halftime and they put Tua Tagovailoa in there and they weren't prepared for a passing quarterback. They didn't know that Tua could sling the ball like that. So I'm thinking that they're going to be leaning more towards on the run defense because your quarterback is a full quarterback as well.
Right. So, Ua Ungalale.
God bless.
Let me tell you, the only thing he needs to do is continue to take care of the ball like he did in the games he played in last year when Lawrence was out. So
which he played well.
Everybody looks at the Notre Dame game as kind of like the big game because they were number 4 playing number 2 as the number 2, number 4 game. He threw for 439 yards, 2 touchdowns, and went 29-44. But the game that really showed what he is and who he is as a quarterback is the Boston College game. They were down 28-13 at halftime. He led Clemson back to win 34-28. He threw for 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, went 30 for 41, and no turnovers in either of those games. And that was as a true freshman. So I am not worried about him slinging the ball all over the field. So I think even if Georgia goes in with that mindset, we're going to just stop the run. I think that DJ will be able to throw it on them. So I think that's going to make the difference. And the next thing is Clemson returns the entire defense. You have 6-year players on the Clemson defense due to the COVID rule that they got a year exception. So Clemson returns its entire defense, and I think that they're going to come out with something to prove, and I think they are going to try to ransack Georgia's offense.
Well,
they're mad. They're mad about the games last year. They're mad about being talked about last year, how underprepared they were. And even with the hiccups last year, they were the number one scoring defense in the ACC. The number one scoring defense, and they still got talked bad about, and they're still mad about it. So they're going to come out ready for Georgia.
But here's the problem. I mean, you guys are supposed to have that in the ACC. Ain't nothing but elementary school team JV and and there's nothing but JV teams in the ACC.
Here we go with the SEC flag.
Come on, man.
Tell them, Marcus.
There's JV.
Who does
JV
the SEC have really?
Okay.
On Alabama's side, who do they have to compete against?
Okay, so
you can't say Missouri because Missouri is sorry, Vanderbilt's sorry, South Carolina's sorry. Florida is sorry. They're always overrated and they always get beat. Auburn is sorry. Ole Miss is sorry.
Let Marcus talk. He's trying to cut in.
Nope. We're not doing that. South Carolina. How many? I can count on one hand how many times we played South Carolina. We played them twice since my daughters are 12 years old. We played them twice since they've been born. Twice. Florida, they gave us a run for our money. I'll tell you that they did do their due diligence. You do have teams such as Texas A&M. You know, they always play us a little tough. LSU, of course, last year they fell off, but hey, that's one of our rivals, and we do.
That's their excuse. They always fall off. They always fall off. Like seriously, if you look at the records of the teams, the only team that offensively can give Alabama a run for their money and can't beat Alabama because they don't have a defense in the world is Ole Miss. That's it. Ole Miss always comes out slinging on Alabama and throwing the ball all over the place. They're the only ones that can compete score-wise, but they can't stop Alabama to save their lives and always lose.
I can imagine the comment section from today's Sports Talk Friday because our last Sports Talk Friday, we had people from Georgia come in, people from North Carolina. Everybody was voicing their opinion. So I can't wait to see all the comments.
Let me tell you, North Carolina is going to have a good team this year.
Okay.
They're bringing back a very good quarterback. That North Carolina-Miami game, now that's going to be a good game too.
That's going to be a good game too. I think those are going to be the only two tough games that Miami is going to have.
Let me go on record.
I'm going to tell you. Sorry.
No, let me go on record and say this about Ole Miss. When we played y'all last season, who was their head coach? Lane Kiffin.
See,
correct?
This is the thing too.
Wait. Lane Kiffin was their head coach. And deep down in my heart, Lane Kiffin cheated. He knew some of our plays. He knew some of our
Let me tell you about the SEC. And Marcus, you know I'm right. Okay. Half of the teams in the SEC, all they do is hire head coaches that used to work under Nick Saban.
And what happens? Spanked by Nick Saban.
Huh?
And what happens? They get spanked by Nick Saban.
Every time because Nick Saban knows what they're going to do. He knows how they coached. They coached up under him.
They do.
How hard is it to game plan against somebody that you basically taught how to coach?
It's not hard, but guess what? At the same time, if you look up the record, Saban is 21-0 against his proteges. But Lane Kiffin,
he is.
Wow,
that's facts. That's facts. He is.
Lane Kiffin.
That's why Georgia will never beat Alabama. Kirby Smart will never beat Nick Saban, and I will never take Georgia over Alabama.
Well, let me tell you, the NCAA.com said that they are predicting that Georgia is going to win the championship this year.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
They say that JT Daniels have the capabilities to take Georgia to the championship this year.
I'll take TD Jakes before JT Daniels.
Lord have mercy.
That's not. I'm sorry. That's not happening. That's not
But
happening.
you know what?
I agree. I agree on that note.
I could tell you that the Miami versus Alabama game is going to be a real good game.
Yeah.
You know, Alabama, again, how I started the conversation, I give that team the utmost the respect that they deserve. They haven't lost a game like their very first game. That game, they haven't lost their very first game since 2001. And so Miami just happened to fall into this category that they have to play them.
Did you look this stat up? And I think I'm pretty right on this, but I would have to look up the numbers. But last year, I think that Miami lost most of its games by under 7 points.
And
Miami's going to be a threat tomorrow.
they were 8-3.
I'm predicting Miami.
Huh?
Miami's record was 8-3 last season.
Yeah. And the reason they went 8-3 because they lost their quarterback. In the previous game before he got out, he had 5 touchdowns. Like,
Now,
he's going to be a threat. He's going to be a threat tomorrow.
It will.
Incredible about the Miami Hurricanes. Between 2000 and 2002, you guys won 34 straight games. Like you guys were the it factor. You were the it factor. The you was the it factor. And that game, that national championship against Ohio State, when Willis McGahee got hit, you guys went down from there.
Right.
I mean,
I agree with that.
Truthfully, you guys should have won that game. They stole that game from you. They stole that game. But you know what? We can't go back and change it.
That's right.
But I mean, it's just you guys had some legendary cats back in those days. And matter of fact, I'm a Cowboys fan as well. I catch crap about that. Anytime somebody sees me and they had to like, but I'm like, talk about that Roll Tide for a minute. Crickets. But Michael Irvin, he went to the U.
That's right.
He's got that dog. And like I said, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Jeremy Shockley, Greg Olson, all these great players, they went and, they are brotherhood no matter what. And that's one thing that I admire because I'm a team player.
Right.
If I got that dog, I want my brother to have that dog too. If I can't get you, he gonna get you.
Miami, yeah.
What's your prediction for the Miami Alabama game?
31-24 Miami.
31-24 Miami.
Yeah. I don't think that Alabama is just going to be able to shut down the offense for Miami. I don't foresee that. I just think that their offensive side is just going to be too strong. But I don't think that Miami Hurricanes is that their D is going to be able to prevent the Alabama offense from scoring.
Hey Marcus, you got a prediction for the Clemson Georgia game?
I'm gonna give it to Clemson 30-23 Clemson.
Joe,
Close.
What's your prediction?
I see Georgia beating Clemson like 60 to like 12.
Okay.
I would love to see. I will make
No, if I had to rank the teams, if I had to rank my favorite teams, I would say one is Miami because I never betray my team. 2 is Alabama, but I do think that the Alabama program is stronger than Miami. But I got to ride with my team, and I think that they do have a chance to win tomorrow. My third team is Clemson. Clemson has a very well put together team every year. If you just go back over like the last 10 years, their program always excel. So tomorrow I will give it to Clemson, and I predict the score being somewhere around 34 to like 21 Clemson.
Okay. So
Alabama versus Miami 34-24 Alabama.
You got that?
34-24?
Yeah, I think it's going to be iffy, and everybody says it's going to be close too.
My prediction for the Clemson-Georgia game is Clemson 45-21.
You think it's going
to... That's a wide spread.
Well, I'm going to tell you my side notes. So Clemson now has depth at the O-line, which they were missing last year.
Okay.
And Justin Ross is back in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a very elite receiving core, wide receiver you. So Justin Ross and Gata, Ladson, Aju, and EJ Williams, they are going to have Uungalale throwing them the ball all over the field. So that's my go-to.
Well,
I didn't even do the 101 for the women.
I know, but our time.
I know.
But next Friday, you can. And tomorrow, Marcus, we will be live on our Facebook and YouTube channel, streaming the games, giving live commentary.
All right.
And
All
y'all
right.
catch the game tonight, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. That's going to be a good one.
Okay.
And kicking off the games tomorrow, Penn State versus Wisconsin. Again, another setting game for the season. And Indiana, Iowa. That's another big game, 3:30. Louisiana, Texas. Another big game.
Football is back.
4:30.
It is back, baby.
It is. It's back.
And I hope LSU loses.
LSU, UCLA. That's going to be a good game, too.
Well, she took up the whole outro, guys. So you know what we have to do. We got to run it back.
Oh!
Guys, thank you so much. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, brother.
It was a pleasure having you on.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
So, guys, thank you. Make sure you comment. Get involved down in the comment section. Let us know who's your team. Who are you going for out of all the teams that we named? What are your predictions? Let's get involved down in the comment section. Our team always try to respond to everybody that's in the comment section. So get involved. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and hashtag YMA Nation in the comment section so you could go on our monthly cash drawing. And make sure you check out the Good Vibrations down in the description. Check out the video. You can do that right now. Go check out Good Vibrations, that new hit single by Joe Wallace featuring Major Maestro. And we will see you guys on Monday for Wealth Building Monday.
God bless.
That was a real good show.
Yes, sir.
I knew it would be.
Yes, sir.
Good job too, Marcus. Thank you.
I appreciate you, boss man, for having me on.
Are you seeing the game from your house tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be watching the game from home, and I'll be doing some painting as well.
Okay. Well, we'll be live, probably doing the game, doing some of the highlights. I may call you on my Facebook Live and join you on my live if you're okay with that.
I am totally fine with that.
I'd be like, Marcus, we live right now. Miami up 17-0.
Ooh,
He's not going to answer.
Don't do
that. Are you sure if Miami is up, are you still going to answer?
Yeah, I will. You got my word.
All right, hey, brother, you have a good evening, and I'll hit you up tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's
all right. Thank you again.
Have a good one.